Yeah, hi everybody, it's Brad Yates here from NZHL Mandeville Street in Christchurch. First of all, we just want to say from all the team, hope you're all staying safe and sane in your bubbles. We wanted to also share with you some tips on how to not only survive but also thrive financially through COVID-19. So tip number one for you guys is, number one, you need to actually take stock, and it might seem obvious, but take stock of what income you've got coming into the household. Some of you will have had income drop, some of you would have it slashed. Some people haven't had any drop in their income whatsoever. So, but number one, you need to figure out exactly what the income that you've got coming into the household. Number two, you then need to know exactly what your expenses are. Now, you might say, well, I know what my expenses are, Brad. Well, that's good. In normal times, yeah, I'm sure you do. But they would have changed now, all right? So some of your expenses would have gone up. Power, phone, all of that sort of stuff, gas, that sort of thing would have gone up a little bit. But a lot of expenses would have gone down. Your frivolous spending, your flat white, so to speak, your takeaways, your eating out, your frivolous normal spend that you might just spend when you're out and about, buying your lunches, that sort of thing, all would have gone down a little bit. So it's really important that the number one thing you do is take stock of exactly what it is that you've got coming in and going out right now. Once you've got this, it's really easy then to be able to have a discussion because you know where you're at. Number three is you should talk to your advisor. Once you know exactly where you're at, have a conversation with your advisor. There's one of three things you're going to be talking about. Number one, I've just done my income and expenses and crikey, it doesn't look too good. So you need to have a conversation about what options are available. Number two would be you've done your income and expenses and it looks okay, but I'd still like to know what's available in case my situation changes. And number three is actually I'm all okay, but how do I really get ahead in this environment? And that's something I'll talk to in just a moment. So from that conversation you've had with your advisor, you're then going to come to a point where you know where you're at. And if you have to trim still, then you need to be looking at what you can actually trim back on. Now, there'll be perhaps subscriptions and stuff like that you've actually got that you can cut back on. There'll be other things that you can cut back on. What are you not using? What services are you not using right now? How can you actually save? If you've got a spa at home, maybe have to turn the spa off, save power, turn the lights off, all of those sorts of things. There'll be many things that you can do right now to trim back on and how to do things smarter. The other area that you could trim is by consolidating any short-term debt. If you've got short-term debt at higher interest rates, whether it be credit cards, whether it be higher purchases, whether it be car loans, whatever it might be, you need to look at perhaps consolidating that. If you have a home loan right now, you can consolidate against your home loan. But the number one thing here is you don't put it on a 30-year term or 25-year term, whatever your home loan's on, that you consolidate it to a smaller loan term. For example, if you've got a car loan on a 3-year term, you could actually put that onto your home loan on a 3-year term, but pay, generally speaking, much lower interest rates than you would on a normal car loan. The same with your credit cards or any other short-term debt that you've got, but you need to look to consolidate. If you find that actually you're not needing to consolidate, you're not needing to trim back anywhere, the last bit of advice that we've got is that you need to look at how you can thrive. And again, this is where you need to be talking to your advisor. Talk to your advisor around how do you actually get ahead. Because a lot of people don't realise that the banks have many different ways they can set you up with a home loan. A standard table mortgage is the worst possible scenario for you because that's where the banks make the most profit. Your structure is the number one crucial thing. So you need to talk to your advisor about how to structure your loan the best possible way for you and not for the bank. Number two is you then need to look at what your budget is, what your goals are, and move forward from there. So right now, a lot of us are doing a lot of soul searching and going, hey, crikey, I'm okay, but I don't want to be like my mate who's just lost his job and is really struggling right now. So for those of you that I'm talking to are the ones that haven't dropped in your income, but actually looking to thrive. Okay, so that's where talking to your advisor can really help as well, and making sure that you are setting goals that are really clear about what you want to achieve and then figuring out how you can achieve that. So there's just some few tips. It's not rocket science, but it's just some few tips on how we can help you survive, but also in some cases thrive through COVID-19. So if you've got an advisor, by all means talk to them. If you haven't, by all means talk to us. We're getting back to our clients within 24 hours, and we find that that is absolutely fantastic in this time. What we're hearing from others, that the other lending institutions are taking a week to 2 weeks to get back to people. Look, we are there and we want to help. Whether you're a client of ours right now or not, we are here to help. So by all means, feel free to reach out. We're there for you. Thanks very much, everybody. Stay safe.